What is up? That's right, Sick Man here. We have to do an emergency pod because the NBA trade deadline has just happened. It's just finished and it's within reasonable hours for us. So we thought, why don't we jump on a pod and talk about it? Now, we've got House Lasku. You guys are all familiar. We have got Bray, and we have our own correspondent from the Orlando Magic. Yes, I'm sorry. We have James Altira here as well.
Thank you for having me back on the show.
Yeah. We had to have you on because Orlando Magic are doing sort of a trust the process, blowing the whole team up. The tanking is on. So we are going to go through the top storylines. We've picked up 5 key trades that we want to talk about, and we are going to head to Orlando first. Nikola Vucevic going to Chicago. The deal is Aminu and Vucevic to the Bulls. In return, the Magic will receive Wendell Carter Jr., also Porter Jr., a 2021 first-round pick, which is top 4 protected, and a 2023 first-round pick. So we've got fans of teams in both camps, which is really interesting. We are going to head to Ultra for your reactions on losing your franchise cornerstone on Vooch, and how you feeling about that?
Well, first off, I don't know if you can say that we've got fans of both teams here, because I'm pretty sure one of them's a Miami fan. No, man.
He's back on the bandwagon now. Now he's got Vooch.
with as Bray's lifting his shirt up, I'll give a little tribute. My man Vooch on the t-shirt.
Is that Gortat in the post as well? Another Magic boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I think Wildy got me this shirt actually years ago. It's super tight on me now.
Go on about Beach.
What a deadline. I mean, throughout the whole week, everyone was expecting Gordon and Fournier to be going. So I was prepared for that. But then opening up all the big trades, all of a sudden Vooch is getting traded. And that was like a massive shock because he's been here for so long and he wanted to stay. And he's someone his game doesn't rely on his athleticism. So I feel like going forward, even though he's 30, he's still going to be a great start to have around. So to sort of just scrap everything and ship him off for picks, I mean, it just set the precedent for the afternoon. Just like everything followed from that onwards. Because then that pretty much confirms Orlando is just going to be giving away everything.
Yeah, and if you look on the other side, Bray, talk to me about the Bulls. We've had conversations throughout the pod for many weeks about how me and George think that the Bulls are going to make the playoffs. Surely they're going to be making the playoffs now with this acquisition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you would expect them to now. Now they've got 2 All-Stars. Obviously, it's great. To clarify, my position on the Bulls up to now has been their ceiling as of 4 hours ago was basically a first round out. That was their ceiling for the team. And with this acquisition, and as a result of that, I did want them to blow it up. I wanted them to trade Levine. I wanted them to do exactly what Orlando were doing because I didn't think that was a good enough ceiling for this team. I didn't think Levine was the best guy on a team that makes a playoff run. Now they've got someone like Vooch, who is, I think, better than Levine, and does way more as it comes to facilitating the ball. Levine is a very, very efficient scorer, but that is really the only thing he does. Neither of them play very much defense, but that's by the by. So I think now they've kind of got a 1A, 1B punch. I don't know who comes out as the alpha dog in that, but I think together, they're pretty good. It kind of means now your ceiling of the team is a second round out instead of a first round out. However, it does kind of puts you way more in the mix with those kind of tier 2 teams. So obviously they can't compete with the likes of the Bucks, the Nets, or the Sixers as currently constructed. I would probably say they probably can't compete with Miami with the moves that they've made, but we'll talk about that later on. And I think they're now in that second tier. it means that they can go either way. If they overperform, it kind of pushes them up. Maybe you think they have a chance. If they are able to make other moves in the off season, they start looking much better for next year. I like the decisiveness. I like the fact that they've decided to go one direction or the other and have not sat in mediocrity. So congrats for that. They have made their job very difficult moving forward, though, because now that first pick they gave up, top 4 protected. If they do well this year, which you would expect them to, it'll be fine to lose that. You're not too concerned. The second one kicks in, I believe, just as Vucevic's contract is coming to an end. So it depends what state he's going to be in at the end of his contract if he's still a productive player. And it also kicks in, like Levine's current contract ends a year before that pick goes up. Now, as a result of taking on Al-Farouq Aminu as well, they cannot extend Levine's current contract because they are capped. They can, however, offer him more money than everyone else in free agency. And if they have success in the next couple of years, will be in a great position to do that. So it has made their road more difficult, but not impossible, to keep this team together and to make moves to make it even better. The only thing I would say I'm disappointed in is the fact that they didn't pick up a point guard. They were going after Lonzo, and they didn't manage to get him. I don't blame the Pelicans because Lonzo's looked great. Unfortunately, Kobe White is not a point guard, in my opinion. He's a shooting guard. All he does is jack shots. I don't think he can control that offense. Satoransky he's a good NBA point guard. I don't think he is a starting NBA point guard. I think that's what they're missing now. Obviously, Vuce is going to be having a load of touches, be able to dictate the offense. He gets a load of assists. We know that, so that's good. However, if you look at basically this is a poor man's Denver Nuggets. Like, the Denver Nuggets have Jamal Murray, who does have a lot of those ball handling duties, and does direct that a bit. And I think that's what they're missing at the moment.
Let's flip on the Magic side of things. Ed, you must be happy with bringing in 2 first-round picks here. I think you've done very well.
Before we get to that, I just want to clarify something. Bray, did you have Zach LaVine as an All-Star this year?
I can't actually remember. I might not have done. He was in that group on the edge.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think I did based on their record. I think.
Okay. I know, it's just interesting because obviously you said Vuce is better than Zach LaVine, but there was no way Vuce could be an All-Star, and it's just funny. I'm just picking at you.
I didn't say there was no way Vuce could be an All-Star. I said that I think I said that I thought Sabonis should have made it ahead of him, which is not out of the realms of possibility here. Let's not act like this is totally blasphemous. There's
a lot of people who should have been All-Stars this year.
Yeah,
so, the part of the reason I bring that up is I just find it so intriguing when the national media talk about players which I know they haven't seen before, and I've just asked a couple of people and not necessarily watched the games, because I hear all the stuff about Evan Fournier and Aaron Gordon I had no idea about. Like, all of a sudden the local media, the national media, know all there is to know about the Orlando Magic's roster and the situation for the past couple of years, which I find super interesting. But anyway, that's just something I had to get off my chest there a little bit. In terms of the Magic perspective now, going in, as you said, Alex, getting 2 first-round picks, that was what Orlando said throughout. It would need to take a Drew Holiday-like type deal to get Orlando to move away from Vucevic. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect a team to give up 2 first-round picks for Vucevic. Like, he's a 30-year-old center who's not great defensively, but is amazing offensively. But as Ultra said, because he isn't that good defensively, his game isn't based on his athleticism, it's mostly skill. That could translate for another couple of years, and he's been very durable. I don't remember ever a time when Vuce has been out for an extended period of time, and he's been almost durable player this year as well, when, as we know, Orlando have been ravaged by injuries. So the reason I found out is I was working, I looked at the group chat, and Bray said something about the Bulls making a trade. So, let me see what the trade was. I clicked my Bleacher notification. There's like 3 things. Red alarm. Vuce has been traded to Chicago. I'm like, what? And then I looked at the trade. I'm like, they seriously gave up 2 first-round picks. Chicago, who, they might make the play-in. And again, it's not out of the realms of possibilities that Chicago are in the lottery this year and even in 2 years' time, because there are so many. I feel like there are quite a few competitive teams in the East. And one credit to the NBA is I always felt the NBA regular season isn't competitive. It's just a bit of a drag, which is why I like the format we have where we talk about all the teams, and it's quite interesting. The fact that they've got the play-in tournament makes a lot of teams feel that, you know what, we can actually make the playoffs. They have this irrational confidence about their organization, which I now feel Chicago is part of it. Like, I do credit them for saying, you know what, we're going to make a push. But now this is irrational arrogance. They think, you know what, we can make a push, we can win a playoff series like Orlando did for the past couple of years. Because of that, a lot of teams feel that they can make the playoffs and etc. So there are a lot of buying teams, something that me and Bray spoke about previously. To get, again, 2 first-round picks for Vucevic, a 30-year-old center. The one good thing about Vucevic's contract, which they also did with Gordon, is that it is a declining salary. So the salary is declining year on year. So next year is going to be less than it is this year. So I think this year something like 24, next year it's like 22. So that's one positive from a salary cap situation for both players. But when I did see Chicago get 2 first-round picks, I'm not mad at the decision organization decided to take, because they saw Vucevic come into the end. They had this pitch which they had this offer which they couldn't turn down. They pulled the trigger, and then we all knew Fournier and Gordon were going to go out anyway. This just helped, and I think part of it is also down to the injuries Orlando had. I felt that, again, irrational confidence from the organization. They felt, you know what, we can make the playoffs again. We can win a first-round series if everyone's healthy. Everyone got injured, pulled the trigger. You know what? Let's just start all over.
Yeah, great move for Orlando from me personally. Chicago Bulls also pick up Daniel Tice, which is something that Bray didn't know about. Another backup big, another person who can pick up some defensive stats for them and on that side of the ball.